All right, well, we're doing a follow-up on the 4700. It got dropped off last summer, just before the winter time. So I'm not sure what happened since then, but it was out of oil, out of gas, and I have a feeling that the air in the oil and the air in the fuel was banging back and forth on the pump and caused the regulator in the pump to either stick or get damaged. Now, a while back I said, oh, I lost a ball when I took the regulator out, and the regulator looked odd, and I thought I dropped the ball, but I'm not sure whether the ball was shattered or not. It's hard to say. But so I had the customer, he ordered a new injection pump. We put that on. Now originally when it came in, it wouldn't start whatsoever unless I sprayed it with a little bit of ether, and then it would roll over and it would run, and then once you shut it off, it wouldn't start again, and it wouldn't always start on ether either. So we changed out the injection pump, and then I got it to start up when it was cold, but once it was hot, it still wouldn't start. So I went ahead and we pulled the injectors out, and I checked the injector seals, which you'll see here in a minute. I'll show you some of that footage, and replace the seals, see what I found out in there, and check out how I figured this out, because this is like a perfect storm. I mean, it's very rare that you run out of fuel and you run low on oil at the same time, but it can cause some major issues, and even to some of the best techs, it'll be like, what the hell's going on around here? But I got it figured out, and she's fixed, so we're getting her prepped and getting her to get delivered. And let me show you some of what I had to go through to get this changed. Now, some of my footage I got lost because I didn't figure I was gonna end up posting this video, but I figured somebody might like to know if something like this happens, like another perfect storm for somebody, and their tech is scratching their head and trying to figure out what the hell's going on, because the pump on these things are like $3,000. So you kind of gotta be careful of how you're diagnosing it and make sure you're doing it right, because one wrong move and yeah, there goes your profit and who knows what else. So join me here, and I'll show you what I found, or at least what I did and how I got it figured out, and hopefully it'll help somebody else. What I'm gonna do here is I want to check the oil pressure seals in the injectors, because what I'm having a problem with is once I put the new injection pump on, it still wouldn't start when it was warm, but as soon as it dropped down to 20 degrees, this thing will fire right up and run. And then when you shut it off while it's hot, it won't start back up again until it's completely cooled back off. So I'm suspicious that when the injection pump went bad, it overpressurized and eroded the seals on the oil pressure side on the injectors. So I'm gonna blow this oil off from around the injectors and give her an old crank and see what we can see. I have a feeling that we're gonna see a couple leaking. Oh, help if I... All right, let's give her a crank and see what happens. Aha! As you can see, we got a leaker. Seems to be the only receiver. I'll be damned. Alright, we're going to try to remove the one that was leaking the most. See how this goes. Oh, it came up. Oh. So what I'm looking at here, this is an old one. It's a used jet injector out of another engine, and I keep them around just in case, you know, could save someone's ass one day when we just need one injector and there's none in stock or something like that. But also in this instance, I wonder where the problem is. So right here is the oil control ring. To control, oil comes through this groove here. This holds it back from down here. This is where the fuel comes in. This right here is the oil pressure. So it'll come up and it's supposed to lock against these, and these are supposed to keep it from happening. Right now, you can see here, see how tight that is, you know, that's how acceptable. The one that came out of the truck, not acceptable. And this is where I think the injection pump, where I had problems with the regulator, probably spiked it, or the fact that it ran out of fuel and oil. So it was backlashing from two different areas. And I think it was just a perfect storm, and that blew this seal kit apart. I mean, it didn't hurt the metal ring, but definitely blew the hell out of the other rings. All I'm gonna do here now is we're gonna pull these old O-rings off here. They can be cantankerous. There's that. And these fire rings are a pain in the ass to get off too. Little copper washer, when they go down here, they crush down on the injector, and they're not very fun to get off. But when you get them off, and this thing's a pain in the butt. Good way to stab yourself with this stuff. And voila. Now we clean all this up real good and we'll put the new ones on. Alright, let's get one of these kits out here. Now I got these from a diesel supply place here in Columbus, and these are Grizzlies. There's the part number, it's DT466E. And here's what the kit looks like. Now if you call international, these are probably $300 and some, but they're about $8 a piece. So we're gonna put these in here and see how they do. And here's the second one that I seen was leaking. And as you can see here again, I find the square seal split in half. And this rubber one here is kind of blown around. It's had the edge ate off of it. So I think we got her licked this time. So this is the second one that was leaking, not as bad as that middle one. And again, the seal's broke. Looks like we got some pressure bleed by here, and it's chewed the edge of the seal up. Everything else looks all right, so that matches the problems that we're having. So get this one re-ringed. All right, that's I got all injectors back in. I got the harness on. So I'm gonna crank it over and see if any of them leak. And by God, we have no leaks. That sounds good to me. Time to adjust the valves now. Well, I've got it back together. The valves are adjusted. Harness is tied back down. So now it's time to test and see if it's gonna fire. Now I know it'll fire cold, but we're gonna let it warm up and see what it does. And then hopefully I can tie up the rest of the stuff and complete this job finally. Let's give her a kick. Yeah, I forgot to plug in the crank sensor. Alright. Shutting her off. Ta-da! Well, I had to stop what I was doing up at the shop, working on a dump truck, come down here because Uncle Terry's bringing me the last of the stuff to fix this fuel line debacle on Chumps 55 Chevy. So it's been sitting down here since it left my brother's. It's been waiting. Well, I had to order some fuel lines off of Chump, and he got some fuel lines for it, but it took about 5 days for him to get here, even though he ordered it priority mail somehow. I'm sure it has something to do with Chump. Keep an eye out for Uncle Terry, Milo. He's bringing Chump's parts faster than Chump gets his parts. Yeah, that's not surprising, is it? Oh, Uncle Terry. Well, you're way faster than Chump. He took like a week.
I don't take that long.
Yeah, I'm glad.
This is butter for 55?
No. Actually, I got it for sale right now for about $4 grand, but it's a 2.0 Kubota engine.
That's cool.
They usually, for crate motors, yeah. They usually go for, I think a remand is like $8 grand.
Oh.
But I've got it for sale for 4. If it isn't gonna sell, then I'm gonna make one of them go-kart things that look like a Model T, take some wheel belly.
Oh yeah.
And do that, and then
That'd
put,
be really cool.
I thought it'd be sweet with a turbocharged diesel sticking out of it, but
That'd be cool.
we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Bucko's got bills to pay, so we'll see how this all works
I
out.
understand that.
So, yeah, there's the mess. Not too bad. Then here's the Alcadinger lines that we got.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
kind of like what Billy had on the.
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he had on it. That's who. He's like, call these guys.
Yeah, that's a nice setup.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can buy these. I can make them, but I don't know if you can buy these nuts without.
You can.
You can?
Yeah, you can. It's just a regular tube nut. Tube nut with you have the fitting.
Yeah.
37-degree flare, and then you have the nut that goes over the top of it. Then you just flare it 37 degrees. Put all that stuff on, flare it 37 degrees. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
that's a nice setup.
If I have to, I'm gonna try to make some here sometime and see. That way I don't have to wait.
Right.
I mean, I can hand make that stuff, but I don't know. With this car, I kind of didn't want to take a chance of fuel leakage, especially when he's running the E85 in there. And as soon as this goes home, I'm sure Chumpy's gonna lack of maintenance it to death, and then the carburetor's gonna be screwed up, and then he's gonna drive my brother nuts with it.
I don't know. Those are ATM carburetors. He's probably okay.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
They still don't like E85 sitting around.
Oh, that's true. I mean, the 85 is not a good sitting carburetor kind of fuel.
No.
As I tell everybody, especially in the wintertime, they're going to set the car up, take one of the bowl screws out and drain all that stuff out.
Yeah, that's.
And then let it run out. I mean, crank it up and let
drive
it
it out.
Die. And that's the best thing to do. Yeah, shut the fuel pump off and just crank it up and let it just die, or it doesn't have any fuel left in it at all. Because the 85 is just like any other kind of alcohol-based fuel. It turns to
jelly.
crystals.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it on my brother's channel, but here I'm able to get, well, I keep this place heated to 85 degrees at all times.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's the only one place I have because the farm shop doesn't have any insulation in the building or a heater, so it's kind of sucks up there.
Yeah, that's a big space to try to heat.
It is. It's about the same size as Billy's new shop, except for a little shorter.
Yeah,
But
big space to try to heat.
But yeah,
Like a museum up there.
yes, I'm getting it cleaned up. So
Right.
I just got this international truck figured out, and I got that situated. So now I'm trying to get this nailed out at the same time. I actually left up there to drive here to meet you to get this figured out. And then I got the header collector fixed, so that's welded up. And the only other thing I have, which I'll show you over here, is I have problems with that. So the accelerator pedal is a low car, and yeah, they've got it mounted real low, so it goes right out of the firewall and right into the back of that valve cover, which that's the shortest valve cover they could fit on this.
Yeah, in fact, I bring those valve covers up one night because the tall ones wouldn't fit. They were hitting
Yeah, the firewall back
the
there.
firewall over on this side. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as I went to go fire in it, Tanner told me it was okay, and then I hit the throttle and it stuck.
Ooh.
I was just like, that's not a good sign.
No,
So
that's not a good sign.
I don't know. If I had a longer arm on the low car accelerator pedal and just brought it up like 2 inches, I could clear the valve cover and it would be all right.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to come up and look at your low
But
car
you
stuff.
can shorten that cable a bunch.
Yeah.
Because all you do is cut it. That just screws on.
Yeah.
The piece is just screwed on with Allen screw. You can cut that black sheathing as far back as you want to, because that other part just fits on there. So you could shorten it that much, because it doesn't need to be that long.
Well, the problem is where it comes out of the firewall.
Yeah.
See, it's only got an
Oh, I
inch
see. I see,
before
I see.
it bends up into a
Or has
90,
to bend, yeah.
and that's where it's causing me grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll have to get that figured out. I thought about it because the arm, it's got a splined, so it's 2 pieces. So there's a part that goes down where your throttle pedal is, and the piece that goes up for the cable.
Right.
And I was wondering if I can get a longer piece that shoots that up about 2 inches, and then I can bring that and bring a hole up and run it to where it just comes out, and it doesn't have that 90-degree bend in it.
Yeah, that would solve all that.
But I don't know if Low Car makes an extra piece for that that's
So it's
longer.
just a piece. Has this got the 55, 57 gas pedal on it?
Yeah.
The one okay.
Yeah. So it's got a bracket that bolts where the original came through the firewall, so it bolts there, and then it's got an arm that swings down, and then this piece pivots on it.
Right.
And then it's got a splined nut in the middle of that, so you
Yeah,
can.
it's kind of like that stuff. It's splined.
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
like that stuff right there. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal to try to make something like that if you had to. I mean, as far as since you already have the spline piece.
Well, I would say so, except for my TIG welder guy is in Florida.
Yes, I was fixed to say that. Yeah, I was fixed to say really easy. Besides, your welders in Florida.
I haven't been able to afford to buy a TIG welder to practice with one. I've got every other welder known to man. It's the only one that's eluded me.
Yeah.
So I was always watching little Billy because I never got a chance to play with it.
Yeah.
So eventually, either I'm gonna have to figure that out, or when Billy's here, I'll have to nail him, get him to weld me some pieces on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be much to it. I mean, like I say, raise it up about 2 inches, and then you're done with it.
Yeah, I don't want this thing sticking open because
No, you sure
I think
don't.
my brother said it was 675 horsepower. So
I think it's what dyno did, 675 horsepower.
yeah, so I don't think Chumpy needs to have it stuck wide open.
Yeah, I was talking to him today when he paid for this stuff. And he can't. He's chomping a bit. He's ready to drive, and I said, well, maybe we'll have some. It's March now. Hopefully, we'll get into some good weather.
Yes.
I mean, we got enough salt on the roads out here to salinate the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it's gonna have to rain for a while. For
Yeah,
something off.
it's pretty rough out
It's
there
nasty.
right now.
This has been a nasty. February was a very nasty month. It was just once it got below freezing, it just stayed below freezing the whole month.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I'm over it. And number two, I can't get to work on my car because I got Chumpy's bucket of bolts in here. And it's all covered in dust. But I told him that's okay because once I get my car going, I'll knock that dust right off this thing.
That's right.
It'll come right over the windshield.
That's right. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Well, I suppose I better get to work on this. And I haven't heard from my brother, so I don't know what kind of nightmares are coming.
Is he back?
Yeah, I think he's at home right now.
Okay, cool.
I think. But I haven't.
Billy's still got a Florida address for the time being?
Yes. I think he's staying up here until the warm comes. Probably another 30 days or so.
I can't blame him.
And then, I don't know. He's supposed to be going to that Cletus McFarland's 500, Freedom 500 race.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that'd be majorly cool. That'd be majorly cool. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's a good thing about Florida. I mean, tracks are closed basically the week of Christmas, and then they're back open. I mean, that's just like Texas, the same way. I mean, you're closed Thanksgiving Day, you're closed Christmas Day, and the rest of the time you're open.
Yes.
You can race anytime you want to. I like that.
Yeah, I polished that. That was all
That's not
fouled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Yeah, that's a nice radiator.
I polished it up. Some lunkheads have been leaning on it,
Yeah.
putting dents in it, but
It's a nice setup.
nah, I've been working on it.
It looks good. It'll look a whole lot better once you get all those things on it. That's such a clean setup. That's what I like about it. It's so clean with it.
Oh yeah, wait till I get the fuel lines on there and get rid of all that mess.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, I'll let you get to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Uncle Terry.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fits like a glove. I mean, it's close, but it's clearing. Well, here we are. Almost finished product. Got the lines ran. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna run them, if I'm gonna put a bulkhead fastener on there or something. And then, yeah, I don't think it looks bad compared to what it did before. And them alky digger lines, those look sweet. They're stainless. I like them. And they screwed right up, no problems. It was beautiful. I dig it. So I'm finishing up here at Chump Hole's ride. It should be going home. It's the 14th of March. So this is supposed to be going home Saturday, but it's gonna rain. So he's thinking maybe Sunday. I'm pushing for tomorrow. We'll see how this all goes. Now once Chump Hole gets his home, he's gonna have to stop by and start it up and warm it up and maintain it. He can't just leave it sitting in a hole for 15 years and decide to pull it out and have someone blow it up. So at this point, yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Chump. He's gonna lack of maintenance to death, and then probably drive my brother nuts with carburetor issues. We'll see how this goes. He also needs tires, and there's a few other things. Chump's not done yet. He's not even ready to race. So I don't care what he says or anybody else is like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. No, he's not. His tires are like 30 years old. He's got some stuff to take care of. Me, I've got a lot more stuff to take care of. I'm not even supposed to be working on this bucket. According to his attorney in Texas. You know who you are. So, yeah, I had to touch it because my brother's help kind of dropped the ball on it. And then, yeah, well, if you go back through my brother's videos, you'll see me and Chumpy sitting there. Chumpy even picked out the wrong cross member. We had Billy's 55 and this tore down at the same time. And I didn't know where the cross member was because I didn't take it apart. So I found the cross member. I was told it was the right one. Chumpy identified it and said, yep, that's mine. It wasn't. It was Billy's. So the next day we figured out what cross member, got the transmission finished up in it, got it back together, and then, yeah, somebody, I won't mention names, put fuel lines on it. I guess it's the best you could do, but yeah, it looked like a bag up, well, you know. So we got that straightened out. I got the fuel lines, Alka-Dinger, or yeah, how do you pronounce that? Alki-Digger. So Alki-Digger lines is what we put on the carburetor. They're really clean. I like them, especially with the dual 4 application. Made everything simple and clean, and it looks nice compared to the bag of, well, you know what, that we ended up with on it. Which it made it down here, but I wouldn't take it any further than that. So I'm gonna turn this over to Chumpy and let him figure out his own crap. And I'm gonna get on my stuff because I've got, as soon as I get some of this mess cleaned up and Chumpy's car out of here, we're gonna do a flathead Ford Will It Run. Now, I don't think I've mentioned this yet to anybody, but I found this on a selling wall and it was taken out in 1980. I believe, yeah, 1980 or 81. And they put a Ford 302 in it. And I think the fellow passed away before he even finished that. So the car got sold. Apparently they never picked up the flathead engine because it had a 302 in it. And they posted it up for sale. I think I got it for like 600 bucks. And it literally was taken out of the car complete, clear down to distributor, plugs, wires, I mean everything. And then I went on Amazon and found a radiator for flathead Ford. It's universal. I'm gonna weld some brackets up on this thing, so I'll have the cooling system together and everything will be ready to go. I had this, the only thing this engine didn't have was a carburetor, and I actually had that in stock. It was brand new, sitting on another intake that I got from somewhere else. So I lubed her up and stuck her on there, and I got Chumpy to get me an oil filter so I can change oil in it, and I got some other stuff to put on it. But we're gonna fire his flathead up because I'm gonna be playing around with it. And there's a couple of projects. I either want to put it in a 31 pickup, or Dad's got a 1919T up there that's been disassembled in a million pieces. It's completely unrestored, and about 50% of the parts are, I don't know, 25% of the parts are missing or not there. So I don't know, we might rob the body off of that and use my original coupe chassis, stick his flathead in it, and have a little T-bucket to run around in just as a fun ride. It's not going to be super fast. It'll be fast, the fastest T. It'll be faster than a regular stock T, but it'll be something fun to run around, maybe drive up to Chumpy's and kick him in the nuts. Something fun to play with as well, look at it. Maybe give some kids some rides, take it to some shows or something like that. And then the Model A is going to get the 327 in it, I do believe. And then I got to find a transmission, some other stuff. There's a whole bunch of shit I got to do, so we're going to get this thing figured out. Well, that's it for this one. We're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to try to get it posted. What do you think, Matto? Hey, what do you think? You good for this one? Yeah. Time for treats. Milo the shop cat. He's the brains behind this operation.